You can.
Hello Nigeria, I am Becky Madujemu. Welcome to 2021. We made it. Congratulations to everyone watching. And to those who lost loved ones in 2020, accept our condolences. It was quite a year, wasn't it? But best believe that you will be okay. Time heals. Now, this is our first edition for the year and it's celebration galore. Carnivals by communities, display of command performances that made the National Arts Festival spellbinding, and projections for the new year by Nigerians are among the reports penciled down to keep you informed and entertained. But let's give attention to the news first. Reading tonight is Claire Adilabu Abdurazak. Hello Claire, Happy New Year to you, lovely lady.
Happy New Year to you, Becky. Did you get our virus-free birthday hugs? I'm sure you did. Hello and welcome to Abuja, and wherever you are watching, I do hope you stay with us for the rest of Newsline tonight. Let's begin with the news. And the Presidential Task Force has placed travel restrictions on inbound travelers for refusing to show up at the testing centers and getting their COVID-19 status is confirmed. In a tweet on Saturday, January the 2nd, the task force says it had placed travel restrictions on the affected passengers for failing to comply with COVID-19 travel guidelines, which mandates travelers to run the test 7 days after their arrival into the country. National coordinator of the Presidential Task Force, Sani Aliyu, had earlier declared that the affected passport holders will be suspended from traveling for a minimum of 6 months. He also affirmed that visas of foreigners who evade the mandatory test would also be revoked. Sani Aliyu further disclosed that the 100 affected persons have been contacted and confirmed to have failed to undergo the post-arrival safety protocol. And U.S. Vice President Mike Pence accepts Senators' bid to delay Biden's presidential election win. And in Egypt, approves use of Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. For more on the global scene, let's join Uche Ugochukwu.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has welcomed an effort by a group of senators to refuse to certify Joe Biden's presidential election win. The 11 Republican senators and senators-elect, led by Ted Cruz, want a 10-day delay to audit unsubstantiated allegations of election fraud. The move is certain to fail, as most senators are expected to endorse Mr. Biden in the 6th January vote. On a sad note, Norwegian police said 5 bodies have now been found in the search for the missing following a massive landslide that destroyed homes in the country. 5 people remain missing as rescuers continue search for survivors. The death toll in an attack on villages in Niger's restive border regions has risen to more than 70. The country's interior minister said the attack took place in 2 villages near the border with Mali. At least 20 people were also wounded. Turning attention to the coronavirus pandemic, the positive infections have crossed 85 million, with death toll surpassing 1.8 million, as collated by the Coronavirus Resource Center at Johns Hopkins University at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Nigeria now accounts for 89,163 confirmed cases, having recorded 576 new cases Saturday. Egypt, however, has granted regulatory approval for the use of a COVID-19 vaccine developed by Chinese Sinopharm, with the inoculation campaign expected to begin this January. Similarly, India has formally approved the emergency use of 2 coronavirus vaccines as it prepares for one of the world's biggest vaccination drives. The Drugs Regulatory Authority gave the green light to the jabs developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University, and that by a local firm, Bharat Biotech. Prime Minister Minister Narendra Modi called it a decisive turning point. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has warned that regional restrictions in England are probably about to get tougher to curb rising COVID infections. He said stronger measures like keeping schools closed may be required in parts of the country in the coming weeks, and that ministers had to be realistic about the spread of the new variant of the virus. That's it from here. I am Uche Ugochukwu. Compliments of the season.
And back home, the Minister of Women Affairs, Paul Talon, has enjoined Nigerians, especially women, to be aware of COVID-19 and ensure they make efforts to flatten the curve by observing all laid-down protocols to stay safe. In a message of gratitude to women and all Nigerians for their love and prayers for all who tested positive to COVID-19, including herself, Talon restated her commitment to uphold the mission of her ministry to serve as a national vehicle for the speedy and steady development of Nigerian women health-wise and in the mainstream national development, while also promoting the rights of vulnerable persons in the country. She prayed for a prosperous new year full of innovative exploits that will set the nation on a course of positive growth. Paul Talon has been declared COVID-19 negative by doctors following a second test. She rejoices to be part of 2021 celebrations, urging all to take responsibility. And President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the killing of 70 people in a border town between Niger Republic and Mali by militants, describing the incident as another clarion call for united action by African leaders against terrorism. In his reaction to the incident, the president says he was profoundly shocked by the large-scale death of innocent people in the hands of militants who have no regard for the sanctity of human life. He said terrorism has now become like a contagion of evil that can spread anytime if united action is not taken, explaining that instability in one part of Africa has implications for the security of others. President Buhari therefore expressed his deepest sympathy for the government, people of Niger, and families of the victims. And several persons have been killed in series of attacks and counterattacks by gunmen in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. A statement by the State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, says the incident occurred at Kaya community, which shares common boundary with Hayin-Kaura village of Dandume local government area of Katsina State. It shows that violence began on January the 1st when armed bandits attacked Kaya town and kidnapped some locals, including 2 married women. The bandits, who were repelled by a combined team of volunteers from Kaya and Hayin-Kaura village of Katsina State, regrouped on Saturday evening, wielding AK-47 rifles and launched another attack on Kaya town in Giwa local government, killing many of their victims and burning down property. Kaduna State Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, who was involved in coordinating responses to the attack on Saturday night, expressed concern over the incident and tasked security agencies to carry out extensive investigations into the circumstances leading to the killings. And in Borno, the state governor, Babagana Omara Zulum, has visited hunters receiving treatment at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital for injuries sustained when they stepped on landmines planted by suspected Boko Haram terrorists along Sambisa Forest. Mohammed Goni reports that the governor proceeded to the hospital immediately on arrival from his official engagement in Abuja.
23 hunters were reportedly on patrol along the Sambisa forest after they were alerted that the insurgents have wrestled cattle from a nearby village when they marched on landmines planted on the route. 7 of the hunters were said to have died instantly, while 17 others sustained various degrees of injuries. Commissioner of Youth and Sport, Said Nabuba, informed Governor Zulum that 11 persons have so far been treated and discharged. Governor Bagana Umar, who sympathized with the hunters, charged the government officials to cater for the needs of the injured and ensure that they are well taken care of. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
And the Directorate of Defense Media Operation DMO says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafayette Dole has destroyed more Boko Haram terrorist hideouts and eliminated several of their fighters at two locations, Kote Kaura and Bulama Ismari, both in Borno State. DMO Coordinator Major General John Eneche indicates that the air strikes were executed on January 2nd, 2021, employing Nigerian Air Force fighter aircraft, based on credible intelligence reports indicating that the terrorists had recently established camps at both settlements for their logistics items and to plan and launch attacks. The NAV attack aircraft engaged scores of terrorists observed in the target areas, leading to the neutralization of several of them and destruction of structures and logistics stores, some of which were seen engulfed in flames at both locations. And the Nigeria Police Force has reaffirmed commitment towards ensuring safety of lives and property of citizens. Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 1, Sadiq Bello, stated this during a meeting with Commissioners of Police in charge of Kano and Jigawa states. Sanatu Hassan Baura reports.
It is a known fact that insecurity is among the contemporary challenges that contributed to a major setback in Nigeria in the year 2020. The Northwest Zone is not an exception, as in Zone 1 alone, a number of suspects ranging from armed bandits, kidnappers, rapists and other criminals were arrested and brought to book. For these reasons and more, the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 1, Shehu Bello, calls for an emergency security meeting with the commissioners of Kano and Jigawa states, alongside other senior police officers, to brainstorm on the successes and challenges recorded in the year 2020 and measures to adopt in tackling the menace.
We have just rubbed minds here. We have been very frank with ourselves, and we exchange ideas. We want to assure Nigerians living within the Zone 1 Police Command that it's going to be a lot better 2021.
Commissioners of Kano and Jigawa applaud the public for their support, saying the community policing has contributed immensely in achieving the successes recorded.
We have structures on ground, and these structures has helped us to come closer to the people and win their trust and confidence.
There is the need for assistance. By the time we have good information, it's as good as we are going to overcome our problem.
They, however, appeal for more support, emphasizing that security is everybody's business. In Kano, Yahana Sahasambaro, NTA News.
OPEC Secretary General Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo says that the global economy forecasts prospects 4.4% growth in 2021, noting that the recent development of the COVID-19 vaccine have injected optimism into the economy and the oil market. The OPEC Secretary General said this at the 47th meeting of the Joint Technical Committee held virtually and is in advance of the 25th meeting of the Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee, as well as the 13th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting scheduled for Monday, January 4, 2021. While reflecting on the proactive and decisive decisions taken by the Declaration of Cooperation countries in April, June, September, and December 2020, Barkindo opined that the JTC meeting, by appreciating the tireless efforts of committee members throughout the COVID-19 crisis, one of the most volatile periods in the oil industry's history. He says collectively, and I quote, "We have delivered an unprecedented response to an unparalleled market shock and continued to lead the industry on the road to recovery," unquote. The Secretary General underscores the necessity of continuing to work together under the framework of the landmark document for the benefit of producers, consumers, and world economy at large. Aviation, the pride of the air transportation, as a facilitator of the flow of investment, goods and passengers across cities, nations, and the world, was threatened in 2020. Now, the sector slumped into its worst era with huge losses occasioned by a COVID-19 pandemic, the full extent of which the International Air Transport Association, IATA, says may never be known. Aviation correspondent Emmanuel Aimiro, in reviewing the sector in 2020, reports that the outlook of aviation in 2021 is still uncertain, with deep industry losses likely to continue.
airspace is opened again for people and goods to crisscross the globe after the total halt for months due to COVID-19. At the beginning of 2020, the only concern of air travelers in Nigeria was perhaps the usual disruption of flight activities during hazy weather conditions, leading to delays, cancellations, or rescheduling. But then, COVID-19 proved to be more than weather disruptions, and for 6 months, the skies were deserted. Jobs were cut by airline operators to reduce costs. Other services across the aviation chain, like hotel and tourism, car hire and bureau de change, went on compulsory break.
This is the worst hit in the aviation industry ever. We've had similar cases but not like this. And we pray we don't have this experience ever again.
But then, aviation again became the only fastest means for transporting medical protective items to various parts of the globe, with Nigeria also getting her share through donations from foreign countries, agencies and individuals.
Our collaboration with the government, and we also have, as you know, established a basket fund, and part of that will also be commodities. So yes, we expect more support from the United Nations.
How battered was the industry, particularly when airline operators had to carry out routine checks even when the aircraft were parked without them making profits?
At one time, our revenue was down to about 3%, and a fund had 3%. I believe almost all the other aspects of the industry, handling airlines and others, are also experiencing similar low percentages.
While passengers are still in the euphoria of air travel, which started again after the lockdown, suddenly a spike in airfares has caused the excitement to cease.
Going at the rate of 109,000 for business class, simply because there is no space for economy.
Despite the difficulty in 2020, the southeast geopolitical zone had risen to celebrate as the rehabilitation of Akano Ibiam International Airport Nungu runway was completed and reopened.
I never believed that what we are seeing today would happen and happen with such rapidity.
We are proud to say that this project is indeed a testimony to Mr. President's commitment to the provision of infrastructure in the country.
The aviation industry is still nursing the injuries from the lockdown and also concerned about the uncertainty in 2021. One thing is, however certain, the aviation history books will not forget 2020. Emmanuel Ayemihu, NTA News.
And in other stories, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Pantami, has directed immediate suspension of some staff allegedly involved in extortion of applicants at the Bauchi and Kaduna State offices of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. The minister, in a statement, restates his zero tolerance for extortion, bribery, and corruption, and notes that such unethical practices, if allowed to fester, has the potential of derailing the SIM-NIM integration project. Enrollment for the National Identification Number NIN is free of charge, and on no account should anyone pay to obtain an enrollment form or to have their biometrics captured, the statement concludes. And the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the present administration has so far given a good account of itself as a corrupt-free government which has abolished grand corruption at the top. This, according to Garba Shehu, in an article, has been attested to by world leaders, including the outgoing American President Donald Trump, who commended President Buhari for significantly bringing down the level of corruption in the country. He says it is to the credit of President Muhammadu Buhari that Nigeria has today given the world its best performing stock market and as the number one country in Africa in the IMF 2020 Economic Outlooks rating of countries, and that's in spite of the negative impact of COVID-19. Garba Shehu also lists the successes recorded in the fight against insurgency and increased procurement of military aircraft, weapons, equipment and ammunition as some of the landmark achievements of the present administration. He therefore dismisses the insinuation of misrule by the opposition People's Democratic Party, pointing out the long years of decay left behind by the party. Garba Shehu describes as shameful and disgraceful claims made by the opposition People's Democratic Party that Nigerians are dissatisfied with the present administration and wish for the return to the years of locust. He says the Buhari-led administration is fighting for the happiness of the majority of Nigerians, rebuilding a battered economy, putting in place long-delayed infrastructure, and managing the novel coronavirus pandemic in a very competent and impressive manner as to earn the commendation of the World Health Organization, WHO. PDP in 16 years, he explains, broke the economy by killing industrialization, manufacturing competitiveness, and in the whole gave the nation a lost half generation. And the FRSC Co-Marshal, Dr. Boboyo Yemi, has identified 3 major traffic offences which his personnel must enforce, of which motorists must also guard against in the new year. In a statement, the Co-Marshal Boboyo Yemi says the call after the traffic offences review of crashes and fatality rates recorded during the Christmas and New Year operational activities by the Corps, he identified speeding, overloading and non-adherence to COVID-19 protocols, both in vehicle and at the parks, are the 3 major offences. He further explained that the identified offences would form part of the core areas that the FRSA patrol teams will beam their operational searchlights in the new year. He urged members of the public that the FRSA will remain vigilant on the nation's highways as travellers are returning to their homes after the Christmas and New Year celebrations in various places, urging every motorist to show consideration for one another while using the road. All right, let's stop for a while and look at sports update.
The 8-week 2 matches of the Nigeria Professional Football League produced a total of 13 goals on Sunday. At the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna, Kano Pillars beat Katsina United 2-0. In other results, Nasarawa United earned 3 points at Heartland. Enugu Rangers defeated Aqua United by a lone goal, while MFM lost to Lobby Stars. In golf, the ravaging consequences of the coronavirus pandemic means the Century Tournament of Champions will have a record 42 players when it tees off on Thursday at the Kapalua Plantation Course in Lahaina, Hawaii, USA. Typically, the field comprises winners from the previous year, but the number of tournaments lost due to COVID-19 led organizers to invite the top 30 players in the FedEx Cup standing of 2020 to be part of the tournament in 2021. This development means 8 of the top 10 ranked players will compete. Justin Thomas, the defending champion, as a world number 1, Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa, Bryson DeChambeau, and Xander Schauffele, amongst others. With sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
All right, and that does it for news from Abuja. Don't forget, Becky leads the celebration from Lagos, but that will be after the break.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Photo of the grandmother.
With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
All your dreams come true this Christmas.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
In my house, we may look alike, but we are very different individuals. My adorable twins, they look so alike, but they don't like wearing the same things. And my little man, I had to find out the hard way because I've been trying to teach him my way. He loves to learn his own way because doing things his way is more fulfilling. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal, because due to its non-stickiness, it allows me to satisfy everybody just the way they want it.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber, and non-sticky, so you can cook, serve, and eat your pasta just the way you like it. Go on and enjoy your Golden Penny Pasta the way you want it. With Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
In order to mitigate the socio-economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the engagement of 774,000 unemployed Nigerians by the NTA under the Extended Social Public Works Program. To this end, 1,000 unemployed Nigerians from each of the 774 local government areas have been engaged to be paid a monthly allowance of 20,000 naira for 3 months, commencing on 5th January 2021. Areas of engagement in the program will include drainage desilting and maintenance, irrigation, rural feeder roads maintenance, Great Green Wall nurseries and orchard maintenance, traffic control, public infrastructure cleaning and maintenance, etc. The flag-off of the ceremony will be conducted by the Honorable Minister of State, Labor and Employment, Chairman of the Board and Supervising Minister of the NDE, Mr. Festus Kayam, SAN, on behalf of the federal government on Tuesday, 5th January 2021 at 11 a.m. The launch of the project implementation will follow immediately across the 36 states and the FCT by various honorable ministers. All COVID-19 protocols strictly apply. Malam Abubakar Nungu, Acting Director General, National Directorate of Employment, announcer.
Thanks for watching. The beginning of every year offers the opportunity to take stock of the outgone one, and if you care, make projections for the new year. Bearing this in mind, Chuma Nwankere went to the streets of Owerri, the Imo State capital, to find out the expectations of the people for 2021. His findings are revealing and relatable. Take a listen.
Every year comes with hopes and aspirations. Most of all, the joy of partaking of it and the wish to achieve more than one did in the outgone year serves as a source of inspiration to push through the new year. The outgone year 2020 came with much excitement, but as the year progressed, it turned out in the opposite direction. By March 2020, the World Health Organization, WHO, had declared corona disease a global pandemic. This was characterized by months of lockdown and curfew that drastically affected businesses. Schools were shut down abruptly, and grief ravaged many families. As if that was not enough, the NSAS protests, which came in the last quarter of 2020, compounded issues. These occurrences and more, no doubt, resulted in many looking forward to the end of the year.
2020 came with a lot of ups and downs. The expectations were obviously cut short. We went from the lockdown to recession to NSAS protests to, there was a lot of disturbance.
COVID-19, I experienced it in 2020. Things was very difficult for every human being.
While many cannot hide their joy over the coming of the new year, religious leaders attributed the grace to break through the outgone year to God. They are, however, quick to point out the need for renewed hope and confidence that 2021 will be a great year.
God said that He has the last word, and the last word is that for us to have a hope in Him. So for 2021, I'm looking forward for renewed hope in Christ Jesus.
Unless we go back and put those holy books in practice, definitely the hope will always be in abeyance. We cannot deceive God.
And in the midst of the sorrows and reasons to mourn, there is still hope. Because if you can't, hope is the only virtue, the only reason why you keep on struggling.
While the year may just be starting, some say it is not out of place to look at the positive side of life.
So expecting 2021, I'm looking forward for a productive year, a year full of peace, and a year full of opportunities and growth also.
2021, that is a year of moving forward, the year that we all see good things.
With the exchange of Happy New Year still in the air, why not enjoy the beauty of the moment while looking forward to a promising 2021?
Great to see that most people are optimistic, and that's the mindset needed to get through 2021. Next up, there is a cliche which states that what a man can do, a woman can do even better. Over time in Nigeria, we've seen this saying manifest in practical terms. Now, a woman, Aisha Bakari Gombe, is a leader of the Nigerian Hunters Association in Sarauniya Baka, Adamawa. At various times, she led hunters to successfully fight insurgency and other security challenges in the Northeast. Bilkisu Abubakar tells us more about Aisha.
Every of the hunters, Aisha Bakari Gombe, is complementing the effort of security agencies in fighting insurgency operations, kidnapping and armed banditry, among other related security challenges, make her a hero in the eyes of many. What are your fears in battlefield of protecting your fatherland?
Ni a jeji ba na jin tsoro, ni na fi jin tsoro a gari, saboda a gari na san duk yawanci a garin kowa mugu ne, to ni cikin gari ya fi bani tsoro akan jeji. A kuma rayuwa na ni abun da yake bani tsoro wanda dai zai firgita ni, wallahi bai wuce kwado ko tsaka ba.
Aisha Bakari Gombe says inadequate logistics remains the major challenge in the course of her job.
Muna da karancin kayan aiki sosai, ba mu da bindigogi manya, bindigogin da muke amfani da su kaga kalan su kanana ne, da su muke yin karfin hali kawai muke tinkaran su. Na biyun sa artashi da muke amfani da shi, kowa kadarorin sa yake sayarwa ya siya saboda yana neman kasan sa ta zauna lafiya. Ba mu da ababen hawa, motoci haya muke karba, hayan nan da muke karba ba lallai bane mu je mu samu, don za mu nema da kuɗin mu ga sunan ba za a ba mu ba saboda ana jin tsoro kada mu je jeji ko
Some hunters spoken to describe Aisha Bakari Gombe's courage and determination in fighting crimes and criminality as a natural gift.
We have to restore peace in our own society. So among the ladies, in fact, Aisha Bakari is one of the best fighter for restoring peace in Adamawa State.
Jiki ne dai na mata amma zuciya kan ba na mata bane, na maza ne. Don saboda yanda take jajircewa ta tsaya ta fada. Wallahi wannan namijin ma ba ya tsayawa ya fada haka.
The huntress has received several awards within and outside the country due to her selfless service to her fatherland.
What? A powerful woman in the true sense of the word. More grace to our elbow. Now, for centuries, the Nungu tribe of Nasarawa State made history as warriors who subdued the enemy and their territories, yet with prevailing peace conquered the hearts of many at the beginning of every year. They do this with a unique dance festival in appreciation to God for victories and abundant blessings on the land. Hamza Musa Merkafi reports on this captivating tradition.
The leader of the dance festival beckons, and in unison the dancers follow. Among them are the beautiful women of the land, are strong pillars of Rindre community.
Yeah, it has been a normal thing that we cannot keep them exceptional. We go along with them in anything we are doing. We even farm along with them. So in terms of festival like this, we ask them to dance along with us.
The rhythmic effect has not changed over generations. Nungu is a direct translation to say the people are warriors and without enemy to confront have embraced famine as main preoccupation. But as negative behavioral changes continue to affect progress, Professor of Law Onjegewado says embracing tradition is a clarion call for unity among the people.
Community as we progress, but the important thing is that at this moment we are always developing the understanding that gives people the sense of belonging, and as much as I know in our community, we believe that any person who is with us in the community, we share in his hopes and aspirations.
I like what is happening. I really like what's happening here. I like my children to participate because it's generation to generation.
The history of Nungu tribe migration to Nasarawa State is debatable. One account traced to hilly areas of present Bauchi State, and another points to famous Kororapa Kingdom, like many other tribes in Nasarawa State. The Nungu are also in Jema'a local government area of Kaduna State.
And that's how to keep a culture alive through dance. Thanks, Hamza. There are several communities in Nigeria that have carved a niche in culture, thus earning respect on a national scale, just like Wusasa, an indigenous Hausa Christian community in South Emirate of Kaduna State. Their heritage spans centuries, giving rise to trailblazers who have left indelible marks in the fabrics of the Nigerian society. In this report, Tina Toro takes a look at the history and how the community is faring in today's world.
This is Wusasa, a quiet suburb in the ancient Zazzau Emirate. It is better known for the early activities of Christian missionaries leading to the establishment of the first church in northern Nigeria in 1929. The structure, built with traditional and indigenous materials unique to the north, the St. Bartholomew's Anglican Church still stands more than 9 decades after. Western education is another area that Wusasa played a role in its provision, with some of the relics still noticeable in old homes. Wusasa community also contributed to healthcare delivery in Zazzau Emirate, with St. Luke's Anglican Hospital being at the center.
Women and men were taught at the Tunu Megarke school. Now then, it became so cramped, they needed to expand. So they were given the permission to go and look for anywhere that they think fit, so their place will expand.
And that was how Reverend Bullen, who later became Bishop Bullen, came out from the city and located Wusasa.
The community has produced great personalities who have blazed the trail in various fields of endeavor. The first pharmacist Barodiko, first female ambassador Rhoda Muhammad, first indigenous vice chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Professor Ishaya Audu, first female deputy governor in the north, Pamela Sadauki, amongst others.
The efforts of the missionary was just not to proclaim the gospel, was also to raise leadership, which you can see they achieved that by raising all these first.
Wusasa has maintained this through the generations.
His discipline, fear of God, respect of your person, and respect of others, decent behavior, and community spirit.
I have served in the Nigerian Customs Service for 33 years approximately, and I have attained the position of Assistant Controller General, basically based on professionalism and discipline.
The Bible tells me clearly what I should do, and I live by the tenets of the Bible: truthfulness, honesty, and everything else will follow.
They speak with nostalgia, looking at the past against what is obtainable now.
It all boils down to how you carry yourself, how you behave yourself, and that adds up to what you are. And that comes up as an advantage.
When you compare the association then with what we have today, certainly we will just bite our tongues, because the issue of mistrust has entered into us so deeply, where people don't trust each other for no just reason.
Nigeria is so blessed with human and natural resources, but unfortunately not good leadership that could have harnessed these resources and made Nigeria a first world nation. It's a shame, but I still hope and pray that things can turn around.
These notwithstanding, this indigenous Christian community has maintained its core Christian values and has continued to be a base for multicultural and multi-religious diffusion.
So that trip to Wusasa, Tina, we enjoyed it. And I hope you're having a great time with Newsline. Let's go on a break. More to come. Keep it here.
Customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and movita. New look, the same great taste. Golden pennies and movita.
New look, same great taste with natural ingredients. Contains proteins that help maintain a balanced diet.
New look, same great taste. Golden pennies and movita.
Golden penny semovita, your soul food.
countdown to the new year begins, we here at NTA cannot help but look back on a challenging year that has been filled with many lessons. The most important of all being a renewed gratitude for the continued support of our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses and manufacturers, and you, the viewers. As we cross the finish line together, this celebration of new beginnings would simply be incomplete without you there. And we look forward to sharing the coming year with you. Here's to an excellent year ahead.
Welcome back. Now let's continue with cultural matters. When the National Festival of Arts was held in Plateau State, it recreated larger-than-life images of the beauty of communal existence that obtained in Nigeria years ago. Most outstanding was the command performance on how basic and fulfilling life used to be and how the approach to living is being eroded by and by. Amidst reports.
When Nigeria speaks of culture, the world pays respect. Here, culture is not about its name only. It is about the beauty of its diversity, the rhythm of its expressions, and the hidden meanings it conjures, and also the people themselves who interpret it. National Festival of Arts and Culture always attempt to give the world an insight of the micro horizon of Nigerian arts and how much is the world paying attention. This time in Jos, the festival in one night brought to bear a historical showcase of colors and costumes that reflect several Nigerian ancient societies. People who translated this message apart, modern as they look, do not in any way impede the message of their dress. It reflects the evolutionary reality of many an African society, when hunting and gathering sustain the world, and when the products of this endeavor fit the dress code of the people. There is the beauty of its display also. When beauty opens its doors, as in this case, it reveals the hidden majesty of African past. I am personally nostalgic, remembering me growing up in a remote village in Kano. Many people would be quick to identify with the Itu. Now, not too much there. If only as a people, we can take a deep look into these costumes and remember how they shaped the life of our forebears and define what they had been as a people, culturally and occupationally. Perhaps we will be better off as a people of the future.
National Arts Festival keeps preserving our heritage. Even with the pandemic, the last edition lived up to its billing. The ancient town of Jere and its Emirate Council in the FCT recently recognized some worthy and patriotic Nigerians from diverse backgrounds. One of them is our very own Fatima Abbas Hassan, General Manager, NTA Channel 5 Abuja, who is now the Iyamatan Kazan Jere. She was honored for immense contributions to societal growth and development. Abdullahi Ajia captured highlights of the event, which was also used to contract 7 royal weddings and create awareness on COVID-19 prevention.
The historic town of Jere came alive as all roads led to the town's Eid ground, venue of the occasion. The beating of traditional and royal drums, alligator and praise singing depicts an atmosphere of royal glamour in style that set the tone for the day's multiple events. The carnival-like royal convoy ushered in the Sarkin Jere and his Kuje counterparts to the venue. With the attendance overwhelming despite limited invitations sent as a result of COVID-19, the Sarkin Jere seized the opportunity to sensitize his subjects and visitors on the need to use face masks and observe COVID-19 protocols.
I take it as an advantage to enlighten everybody in this program to tell them that coronavirus is real.
Thereafter, the 7 weddings of princes and princesses was contracted by the Imam, who sought Allah's blessings upon the couples.
I'm advising them strongly to be patient.
In promotion of its age-long royalty and for posterity's sake, district heads and some wealthy individuals were turbaned with traditional titles.
What we have seen today, that is purely demonstration of the culture and tradition of your people.
Fatima Abbas Hassan and General Manager NTA Channel 5 Abuja, whose traditional title of Iyamatan Kasanjua was announced, was represented by her husband and her investiture proper to be done at a later date.
I think it will be an encouragement because it's a recognition of professional competence and contribution, and it will encourage her to do more.
It means they have impacted on the people, and we pray that they will continue to do their best. So it's a reflection of what the country needs.
We brought them out to recognize them and tell the world that they have been doing good and to encourage them.
Inshallah, I will meet it in this council. I don't have anything except more than Alhamdulillah.
The conferment of these traditional titles, the Emirate Council maintained, was out of its observation of the individual's contribution towards peace building, community development, as well as being role models to many.
Congratulations to all recipients, especially our own Fatima Abbas Hassan. Now, the saying, none of us is as smart as all of us, has been demonstrated by women farmers in Zuru area of Kebbi State. The plan, which was to make up for the lost harvest caused by flooding, may very well be a model farmers in other parts of the country can adopt. Abdullahi Umaru Ilalu will show us how these female farmers operate.
Farming in Zuru Emirate is a true definition of the saying, whatever a man can do, a woman can do better. In almost every activity on the farm, from plantation to harvesting, women of Zuru Kingdom are involved. They vowed to give equal, if not more, contribution as men to the economic development, ensure food security, job creation, and increased wealth in the state and country. In Zuru, you find hundreds of women, both the young and the elderly, working in their farmlands and even work for others to earn more income to their families. The women in high spirit and songs of praise to attract more attention from Governor Atiku Bagudu and the Zuru Local Government Council Chairman Muhammad Kabir Abubakar said it requires wisdom to understand wisdom, adding that music is nothing if the audience is deaf. They explained that they are getting support from the state government, noting that if the federal government agricultural policy is without encouragement, people will not embrace it. Some of the women farmers explained that what they need is more intervention from governments to improve and boost their production. They commended the chairman Zuru Local Government Council for his continued support and assistance, which motivated more women to queue into farming business in the area. They charge women in other parts of the state to also venture into businesses for self-sufficiency.
We women in Zulu, men no fit beat us for farming. We don't carry our children go high school. We dey chop rice day, millet day.
It's not only our farm they are working, no. They also work, they have their own personal farms. And as 2 months ago, His Excellency has purchased fertilizer, which was given, some trucks of fertilizer were given to local government chairmen. And as you can see, some of these women, most of them has benefited with this fertilizer to their farms. That's why they are saying they need more.
Thereafter, the council chairman led NTA News to the women's millet farm planted 2 months ago. The new improved millet seedlings supplied farmers by the state government, according to officials of the local government agricultural department, take 3 months before harvesting.
Those women have set an example for others to emulate. Smart initiative. I'll take a break to enable us to take a few messages. Please don't go away.
The counsel of our fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youth, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
A new edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Suley of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Loco gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports. Lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
next report is quite touching. Family members of a Nigerian man, Suleiman Olufemi, who has been on death row for 18 years in Saudi Arabia for alleged involvement in the death of a Saudi police officer, have cried out again to the Nigerian and Saudi authorities to effect his release. They made the appeal at the Nigerian in Diaspora Commission office in Lagos, where the chairman, Abike Dabiri Erewa, played host to them. Adiola Komiakere reports.
2002, Suleiman Olufemi traveled to Saudi Arabia for the Lesser Hajj. He was 28 years old at the time. 1 month after his arrival in the oil-rich country, there was a mob action which culminated in a police officer losing his life 3 days later. Suleiman was among 13 other Nigerians arrested. His trial in May 2005 was reported to have been held in secret and conducted in Arabic, which he does not understand, and without proper legal representation. Though he pleaded not guilty, Suleiman has remained in custody for 18 years now on death row. Being the fourth child in a family of 7, his elder brothers and aged parents, who narrated how he left for Saudi Arabia, tearfully appealed to the conscience of Saudi authorities to spare the life of their son.
When it happened, we never knew exactly what happened, because while he was still there, he was sending money and he still sends some electronics. It was in 2005 I learned for the first time in a Punch publication that he is on death row. Then I called him immediately that, Suleiman, this is what I heard about you. He said, well, he too never knew why they were arrested, because most of the procession were done in their absence. And ever since then, we've been trying to get in touch with necessary authorities.
Why I'm here is to plead on behalf of Suleiman Olufemi. He has been a very important boy to me. My job, I had to let it go. Please, I plead with you, before I depart this universe, let my son go.
Chairman, Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, says Nigerian government has made efforts to secure his freedom by being in constant touch with the Nigerian mission in Saudi Arabia, although Suleiman's release largely depends on the daughter of a slain police officer.
Some people were arrested, I think about 11 people, but he was the only one detained and sentenced to death. Now, 2 things will happen. The daughter of the policeman that was killed is now over 18 years old, so she can decide whether to free Suleiman or to have him killed. And we're hoping that she will listen to that appeal.
She added that Chairman House Committee on Diaspora, Tolutokbe Akonde Shadipe, is also involved in the ongoing dialogue to secure his release.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs has actually escalated it to the level of the governor of Mecca, and our mission in Saudi Arabia also on top of the matter, and so are some Nigerians in the diaspora who are also helping to communicate with the family of the late policeman. So let's be optimistic that it can happen. So hopefully when that happens, we'll come back and talk about the next stages.
It is a known fact that Saudi Arabia applies death penalty for a wide range of offenses which are imposed after secret and summary trial that breach international fair trial standard.
Our prayers are with Suleiman and, of course, his family. We hope he regains his freedom soon. Watch out for updates. A very unusual talent is in Newsline tonight. He happens to be visually impaired, but plays active football. No, I'm not exaggerating. He even outplays his counterparts who have 20/20 vision. For believability, you need to see him in action. Let's quickly join Kayode Oladosun as he shows us the exceptional skills of this special footballer in the field of play.
My contact with Miwa was in the course of another assignment. His zest and skill became touching and inspiring when I discovered his challenge and how he's surviving against all odds. Strange as a version of the game may appear, it is fun for the visually impaired to have a feel of the rounded game. Miwa, an athlete, footballer, and a blind soccer coach reached a brick wall in 1998, with his dream to become a successful footballer. When he became blind, though a turbulent time for him, he never gave up.
When I lost my sight, I thought it's the end of the world. But to the glory of God, when I represented Nigeria in all GS, in all African games, through special sport, I'm running there. So I now think of what I can do for the country. I went to United States of America for Michigan Games, University Games, and I saw a lot of events that the blind people are doing. I did a research that if we can introduce these things in Nigeria, we have a lot of blind people which I'm seeing, so that we can develop it.
Muyiwa is not prevented by his challenge to perform regular domestic work, which leaves members of his family wondering.
What happened to him was a surprise to us. On that day, he came from a football training and complained about his eyes. Since then, he became blind.
We have only one child, so she's used to it. And since then, she grown up to know that her father cannot see.
Sometimes I will close my eyes and see that, let me perform the way he's doing it. I was like, I cannot do anything, I cannot do. And you will see him running without seeing.
The kind of person like this, if you just enter inside the bathroom, washing his clothes, then sometimes we carry the ball outside, and we play, we call some of the children, they will play together.
With various medals to his credit, how did Muyiwa come about the introduction of an indoor ball game for the blind called Go Ball in Nigeria?
I cannot say I'm the creator, but I'm an inventor of this Go Ball, because I saw it 2007 when we were in Nigeria. I saw some countries like Egypt. The person that hold me said, which kind of game is this that they are playing? Is the blind people that are playing? I said, let me go there, let me go and check it. So since then, that thing has been ringing in my brain.
As Muyiwa Fatogun summoned courage to live a fulfilling life through a choosing career in sport, his story has proven that life is what you make out of it. When life throws you lemon, you can decide and determine to make lemonade. Exceptional player, Muyiwa will surely go places. Next up, although pockets of looting and destruction of property shadowed the NSAS protests in Plateau State, love was tested, as you will see in this next report. It's about how some missing persons in Bukuru town of Jos South experience humaneness from some heroes of peace. Rinred Sylvanus Lot reports.
First day of October 2020 started off like any other day, with everyone going about their normal businesses in the town of Bukuru in Jos South local government area of Plateau State. Unknown to many, the day would take a turn that would change their perspectives of life forever as a result of the hijack of the NSAS protest. Victor Anyeze, a 21-year-old, was on his way back home from work when he got caught in the web of miscreants who attacked him in Zachary Ward in Bukuru.
Someone came, met up with me and asked me in Hausa, where are you going? And before I could tell him anything, he just started beating me up. So at that point, I really thought it would have been over at that point. Among the people who were able to do this to me, there were also those who were able to save me. Like the nurse herself, she administered first aid. She even gave me food in takeaway.
According to Victor, God sent many lifesavers his way, starting with Umar Hamidu, who saved him from the angry mob.
When I saw the boy being beaten, I realized that I know him and his father because we sell in the same area, and since my religion teaches peace, I decided to help him.
A lokacin ya mistake din hanyar da ya kamata ya bi. Da ya biyo sai ya haɗu da wayansu yara different places.
I was immediately informed about his predicament, so my youth leader and I rushed, but he was already hurt.
Due to our religion and the cause that I read in school, I've already took an oath and swear to the society that anywhere I found anything that is going to be a problem, I have to rescue and help.
A similar case also is that of Muhammadu Rilwanu, a Muslim yam seller who narrowly escaped death while selling at Gel Bukuru, Jos South Local Government Area.
I went for my normal trading, and all of a sudden, an angry crowd was upon me. But then a man I came to know as a community leader, who is a Christian, took me to his home and gave me food for days.
A Christian community elder, Dagyang Jato, also hid him from an angry mob for days in his home until the situation was calmed.
When I have to go there immediately to bring him back to where I lived. We are human beings. We are not animals. We're supposed to behave like human beings. It's animals when they see a stranger, they want to kill it. Even animal doesn't do this enough. We should come back to our senses and do the right thing.
The takeaway here is for everyone to show love to their neighbors, irrespective of tribe or religion.
Summary: when there is love, there will be peace. It's time to embark on the final break. Join us again.
That 35% of every girl child and women are raped on daily basis. Some are killed in the process. Some take their lives in shame. Others remain emotionally dead for life. It is sad. This culture is not ours, definitely not African. How did we allow bad culture to infiltrate and take over? Even if you lack fear for the law, what of fear of God? And you, why do you cover up rape acts when it happens? Remember, a problem shared is a problem half solved. Never cover any rape act because a rapist is a murderer. It could be you or your loved ones next. Women must be treated like the prize gem they are. Say no to rape.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
As the countdown to the new year begins, we here at NTA cannot help but look back on a challenging year that has been filled with many lessons. The most important of all being a renewed gratitude for the continued support of our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses and manufacturers, and you, the viewers. As we cross the finish line together, the celebration of new beginnings would simply be incomplete without you there. And we look forward to sharing the coming year with you. Here's to an excellent year ahead.
Zamko Langtang North in Plateau State played host to eminent Nigerians from all walks of life who came to witness the funeral service of former Chief of Defense Staff, General Dumkant Bali. Kim Gwatz reports that President Muhammadu Buhari was represented at the event.
The final journey of late General Dumkant Bali to his place of rest began with services of songs at Church of Christ in Nations, LCC, Garki, Abuja.
General Bali and myself found that we
friends and colleagues paid their last respect to a man they described as a patriot, considering his contributions to national unity.
For General Bali, he was liked by everybody. He never played with his work. And you cannot go and see him and say you want favor. If that favor means that you are not qualified, and you want favor from him because he's senior officer, you are wasting time.
We will ever remain grateful to him as we benefited from his wealth of experience as former Minister of Defense and Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff. Perspective he brought to bear in the leadership of the club were critical and solid, which gave solid development of the club.
I've always been very proud to be General Bali's friend. Why? Because he always said there are two things that he knew were common between me and him. And I'll ask him, what are those two things? He said the first one is our sense of integrity. He said he knew that when I was governor of Plateau State, that I was a man of integrity, that I never corrupted myself. And that was his own style of life.
2 years ago, when I was celebrating my 60th birthday, I sent him a card, but I didn't expect him to come. He insisted and told Auntie that they must come. On my 60th birthday, as we were preparing, they were going to Jos. He insisted. He could hardly walk. Uncle came to my house with Auntie and brought me nice presents. His card is still there.
In a message to the funeral service, President Muhammadu Buhari described the demise of late General Tomcat Bali as an irreparable loss to the Nigerian Armed Forces and the nation, whose distinguished military career legacies as Minister of Defense and Chief of Defense Staff united the country.
General Bali's demise is indeed a great loss, not only to the armed forces of Nigeria, but also to his community and the entire nation.
His people found him worthy and bestowed on him the title of Panzi Tarak, the paramount ruler of Tarak people of Plateau State. The late General Tomcat Bali was an icon of professionalism, bravery, and discipline.
What followed was a funeral service at the Church of Christ in Nations headquarters, Jos, where Christians were advised to be exemplary in their conduct.
Death comes to all, big and small. Comes to children, to rich and to poor.
He has gone through the righteous Lord again, and he's with the Lord. So it's now left for us, the ones that are behind. Are we going to be where he is? Are we going to go through the righteous yet?
For Plateau State government, his demise was a great loss, but its solace lies in the fact that the deceased rendered meritorious service to the nation.
We are here to pay our last respect to a worthy son and a patriotic Nigerian who lived purposefully. Plateau State remains grateful to God for giving General Bali, who never brought shame to us, rather he brought us pride.
Late General Tomcat Bali began his military career in 1961 and retired from service in 1990 as the Chief of Defense Staff. The paramount ruler passed on at 80.
His soul rests in peace. Amen. Next up, most Nigerians work hard, striving to acquire tangible assets that they can bequeath to loved ones after they exit this world. Many who desire a comfortable future for their family members upon their demise write a will. But for others, it is a taboo to demand that they do same. Erica Evie takes a look at the reluctance of some people towards writing a will and other issues related to it.
Death is described as an inevitable end for all living things. Death can also be described as the termination of life, which occurs at any time with or without signs to indicate. As such, a development is bound to occur. Many go the extra mile to put in place mechanisms that will ensure persons who live to mourn them will continue to enjoy a life without hazards. However, in search of better living conditions and for the avoidance of frictions arising from certain supposed inequalities as regard the apportioning of wealth inherited among beneficiaries, many resort to making a will. To put us on the same pedestal, the definition of a will as a legal document by which a person or the testator expresses his or her wishes as to how his or her property should be shared among beneficiaries may be apt. Being fully aware of what a will is, therefore, have you made your will?
I've not made a will yet, though. I've not yet.
Why?
I will with time, I will. To avoid chaos and problem and trouble when you die, so it's necessary to make a will.
If a testator makes a will, why then should beneficiary contest its authenticity?
It brings trouble. So to me, there is no point to make a will.
Before you could make a will to that person, you might have studied that person very well and know that he is capable, even when you are not alive, if you will not be alive, to handle the family.
A school of thought believes that if a will does not fulfill certain legal requirements, or the maker of the will was not in his best of element during the preparation of the will, especially where the aggrieved beneficiary is unsatisfied with conditions contained therein.
Most times people challenge wills because they feel the will maker has not represented their interests or they are not accommodated in the making of the will. So they have to go to court to challenge the will.
I encourage as much as possible that whenever there is a will, let it be registered with the probate division, especially before the testator passes on.
Most people that do not, subscribe to making a will is as a result of ignorance.
Respondents advise that wills should be validly made in accordance with the law to accommodate extended and polygamous families, since wills are meant to shun unpleasant situations upon the death of its owner.
Heal and save your loved ones from falling out after your demise. There's nothing to fear. Let's now rejoin Claire in Abuja for news just coming in.
All right, and news just in says that the attention of the Ebonyi State Police Command has been drawn to a distorted and misleading video in circulation on social media platform that Fulani herdsmen were being attacked and chased out of Ebonyi State by faceless groups. To set the record straight, the command wishes to state that on the 2nd of January 2021, one Fulani herdsman, Elijah Damu, residing at Uzibo village in Nkaleke Chaba Bishiri community in Ebonyi local government area of Ebonyi State, decided to relocate with some members of his family to Taraba State in search of greener pastures for his cows as the dry season is setting in. Elijah Damu also informed the village chairman and Ichaba Development Center coordinator before his peaceful and voluntary relocation. For the avoidance of doubt, Elijah Damu left 7 other members of his family, including Elijah Musa Damfu and 6 others who are still residing at the same settlement with some of their cattle. Therefore, the command wishes to re-emphasize that before this video, the command have no record of threats to the life of the peace-loving herders or their cows, neither to those residing in the said camp or in the entire state. It may also interest the public to know that the Fulani community on the 2nd of January 2021 paid Christmas and New Year visits to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, and nothing of such threat was reported. However, the mischief makers and the enemies of the state made a voice record over the video to create panic, mislead the public, and misrepresent the peaceful coexistence of the herders and their host communities in Ebonyi State. The command therefore urges the general public to disregard the video as fake, baseless and mischievous and go about their lawful businesses. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, Ebonyi State, CP Philip Sule Maku, has ordered full-scale investigation into the matter with a view to arresting those behind the fake video for possible prosecution. The CB is also reassuring the general public, particularly the Fulani herdsmen and their host communities in Ebonyi State, of the command's continuous commitment to ensure the safety and security of their lives and properties. And that ends the news flash from here in Abuja and concludes Newsline tonight. From me and on behalf of Becky and the production crew, it's good night.
Thank you.